Many manufacturers of food and household items are reducing the sizes of their products, but keeping prices the same. This process, known as shrinkflation, is a result of heightened costs to produce raw materials during the pandemic. CBS Moneywatch reporter Aimee Picchi has been covering this and joins me now. Aimee, good to have you on the show. So in what ways has the pandemic actually made it harder to produce raw materials needed for many food and household products?
Yeah, there are a few things going on here. Number one, labor costs have gone up considerably in the past year, and this is because of the pandemic. A lot of people were forced out of the labor force because of the pandemic and still aren't ready to return to the labor market. And so, a lot of producers are struggling to find workers. So that's number one. Number two, shipping costs are up quite a bit as well. Shipping costs from Asia are double or triple what they were before the pandemic. A lot of raw materials come from Asia. Truckers, too, are in short supply in the U.S., and that's also raising the cost of just getting goods from producers to the store. And then lastly, restaurants and stores are reopening right now at full steam. And so they need those materials. They need the steaks to put on the grill to serve their customers. They need lettuce. They need tomatoes. And Americans are buying the same things at the store. So it's leading to an increase in demand at a time when there's just not enough supply to meet that demand. And that's increasing the costs as well.
I'm wondering which products in particular have been the most severely impacted by these higher production costs, Aimee?
Yeah, well, beef has been impacted quite a bit. Beef is actually up about 20% in the last month alone. So that's something that might give some shoppers some sticker shock when they go to the grocery store. One other area that's seen a lot of increase in costs are household cleaning goods. Those are up about 8% from a year ago. And that's like the Clorox wipes that everybody wanted to get at the beginning of the pandemic. But it's also the raw materials that go into things like plastic bags, plastic wraps, and plates. Those costs have also gone up quite a bit. So you're going to be paying more here and there. And one consumer expert I spoke to said, the real challenge for consumers in trying to keep their budget under control is figuring out, well, what am I paying more for? Because it's not always obvious what's going on with prices. That's what happens with shrinkflation is you're paying the same amount for an item, but you're actually getting less in the box. And so, ultimately your costs do go up, even if your bill looks like it's the same price. So the challenge is kind of figuring out, well, where are you paying more? Looking at that and deciding, well, maybe I should find something else to buy in place of that beef if it's going up 20%.
Aimee, it seems like brands who choose to decrease the size of their food products as opposed to increasing the price are trying to almost fool the consumers. Is that an effective strategy?
Well, they're not really trying this interesting idea. The problem is for them is that they understand that consumers buy on price. They're looking at the ultimate price that they're paying at the register when they check out. And so they know that suddenly if that ice cream goes up $2 a pint, they're not going to buy it. But if they shrink that pint to something smaller and charge the same price, people will still buy it. They might not notice that that they're getting less. And so it's not necessarily, tricking, although some people, if they do notice it, tend to get very upset by this. There was some cat food that shrank their cans, and some of the buyers of the cat food noticed and got a little upset. Like, I'm paying the same for less food for my pet. So, the thing is the grocery stores and the manufacturers often have very thin margins, and they're trying to manage their costs and how they can make sure they keep their customers satisfied without giving in on the margins because that could possibly put them out of business, so they are in a tough spot as well.
When manufacturers increase the prices on goods, it's easy to see that as the economy goes up and down, those prices can fluctuate. But when you're actually changing the size, that includes changing the packaging, I'm wondering if this is now a new normal or if shrinkflation is expected to end, or we should just assume that these items that are smaller and are the same price are going to remain that way.
Well, the experts I spoke to said you can expect to see this for a while until basically things kind of even out. right now in the pandemic, and that could be until later this year, possibly. Inflation right now is up quite a bit, not quite a bit, but it's up. And that's not expected to kind of drop down or stabilize until probably maybe this fall, is what economists are saying. So it's possible that you might continue to see shrinkflation and more examples of shrinkflation through late next year. So just be on the watch, is what experts say. Be on the watch as a consumer. Check what you're buying and check how much you're getting when you buy it.
All right, Aimee Picchi, thank you.
Thank you, Lana.